Hello, we are here for one more lesson of this T-Flex CAD training course, and the topic for today will be something called the exploded view. T-Flex provides a special command for exploding 3D models, which are usually assemblies. And the goal of this command is to show, for example, how to assembly or disassembly a mechanism for example, for someone that needs to learn how to deal with that particular mechanism. This is quite easy, and I will show you first one model that is already done and comes with a standard installation of T-Flex CAD, and then we will create a very simple motion starting from scratch. This is not very complex, so even that we have something, a machine, or in this particular case a gearbox with a lot of parts. In the end, this is the collection of many minor motions. So if you create one particular action, then you need to replicate that action many times to create something more complex. So to work with this, we need to go to Tools menu, and we have two functions. Call it the first one exploded view scenario and exploded view. This first function here opens, we have a scenario 1, opens the configuration that was used to create all the motion of this assembly. Okay, it is quite easy, so we simply need to create steps, and in steps we have several actions, and the actions have in consideration bodies and some kind of transformation. So to see the final result, which in fact it is our goal, we need to go to this exploded view simply, and this command will show us, in this particular case, how to disassembly this mechanism like you are seeing now. If you do it again, then it will go back. And one interesting feature also of this command is the possibility to connect this action to this record scenario, where we can define a couple of things. So the easiest one to make a little movie, in this particular case with a non-photorealistic rendering, we can give it a name, insert the number of frames per second, and simply go and number of cycles, no need, not still 1 second, so record, and so simply say a name to the movie, and video quality you can choose from a couple of possibilities and do the OK, and the video will be created with those frames. And in this particular case, with the standard quality, the size is not very big, almost ending. Okay, and the final result, we have it here. So open with this player, media player, and as you can see, we have a small video, very easy. So quite nice. So this is what we do in terms of the function to assembly and disassembly this. to create something, we can start with a new file. It is very easy, so let us create two elements, one box and then one cylinder. And as I mentioned when we start this video, the idea here it is simply create a set of actions. So coming to exploded view scenario and simply choose one body to move. For example, making a translation, saving it, and this scenario 1, in this particular case defined now, has one step, one action inside, define it with the conditions I've inserted. So if I do now the exploded view, it will create a movement. We can define the duration of the movement. If you see, go out of this edit scenario, we can set the duration. For example, instead of only 1 second, I can set this to make 2 seconds, and it will be completely different, okay, more slow. And this kind of disassembly that we've seen in the most complex model, it's a set of individual motions defined like this. This is a linear motion, but you can set rotations, angular motions. It's the principle is always the same. So this simple example, I hope it is enough to explain the basic concept of the creation in exploded views.